Hello and welcome to my CS6460 Education Technology Milestone 1 presentation. Here I will be presenting my social student news aggregator. What the aggregator does is it's a web feed which students can contribute links to, and students can determine the relevancy of those links by voting the content up or down. This is very similar in concept to sites like Reddit and Hacker News, and it's, I think, a very good technique for improving collaboration and communication among individuals, determining on the target information which you are looking for. So in this case, I will be demonstrating integrating a social news aggregator into courses within Canvas. Just real quick, the way that I did that is leverage the LTI specification, standard specification for integrating plugins to these learning management systems. So just to quickly demonstrate how I did that, let's go ahead and take a look at the settings, the application, and I'm going to create an external tool. I'm just going to use a simple XML configuration, and I'll just call this example application. My application does adhere to the OAuth specification, so there is a consumer key and shared secret, and it's super secret. And what I'll do is I'll just grab the XML real quick just to kind of show my viewers what that looks like. So the configuration, the way that Canvas does integration with external tools is it will call out to an external URL and host that information within an iframe, or maybe open up a new browser tab to show that plugin. There's some other contextual metadata in here. So as you can see, this is a course navigation plugin, and there's some additional information in here that helps configure that course navigation plugin. So let's go take a look at that course contributions plugin real quick. I've gone ahead and set up two courses, CS6460. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. So down the left-hand side, we have some very familiar looking links for those of you who have used Canvas, and a new one called Contributions, which I just created with my plugin. The plugin is hosted within the iframe. So all the content that you see here is all new and is all hosted by my web server. Again, the external tool plugin that Canvas provides and that most LMS applications will use for integration, it's a very similar process. What happens is little bits of information come over to my web server, which I can use to contextually identify what the course ID is, who the user is, and if it's for assignments, I would get the assignment ID, and so on and so on. So here we go. We got a if you're familiar with Reddit or Hacker News or Dig or any other kind of social news aggregators where users come in and contribute links, and that content is rated or voted up or down, this should look very familiar to you. So right here, the content at the top, try to make this relevant for what we're doing right now in class. Peer surveys kind of have been voted up to the top. Open edX maintenance, which is happening this Saturday, is kind of close to the top. There is some work that I still need to do on the contribution relevancy algorithm, so that this stuff just naturally rises to the top over time, so it's contextually bound by the time as well. But I will work on that. That is work in progress. So what we could do is we can go ahead and I'm logged in as the administrator still, so let's just log out. We'll log in as a student real quick. Student 1. And I'll jump back into CS6460. Jump back to contributions. Let's go ahead and create a quick contribution. So I found an interesting white paper about using RSS and web feeds and other content syndications within education. So I just want to post that real quick to anyone else who's relevant, who might be interested in that. Not there. There. So I'll go ahead and publish that. So at the bottom, we got our brand new contribution that we just added as student one. I can click on the link. Link will launch an external tab, which should take me to that white paper if it eventually loads. There we go. And I can jump back. I can just as easily, if I made a mistake, I can just as easily edit the contribution or even delete the contribution. As you can see, I can't edit or delete all the contributions because all those contributions are not owned by student one. So each contribution is contextually bound to the user who created those contributions. So I'm going to go ahead and upvote my RSS. You can see it's just jumped up a little bit in my feed. I'm going to log in as another user just real quick. So, jump back into my 6460 class. Take a look, see if there's any new, or see if the news has kind of changed here. I see, oh yeah, someone else is interested in RSS and content syndications. Yeah, I'll vote that up. So as you can see, the contributions are kind of, as they're naturally and socially contributed to, they'll just kind of naturally rise and fall up and down this web feed. So the most relevant information should start rising to the top of the feeds per course. So just to kind of prove that that's contextually bound as well, let's take a look at CS6601. If anyone's taken AI, let's take a look and see if anyone's actually added any contributions there. There have not been any contributions to AI because I'm not taking that this semester. So there has been no contribution. So these web feeds are bound per course. Future work will include actually binding web feeds to assignments as well, so that at a certain point you can, when you view course information, assignment information should be propagated up through that too. But as you dig down into the assignment, the web feed should narrow down into the specific assignment news, so that it surfaces the most relevant and contextual information. So the deeper you dig, the more relevant the information gets. The other next steps also include, I need to deploy this to AWS as well, make this available to the rest of the students. So hopefully by Milestone 2, people actually have a working system they can access and play around, and I get some more feedback. Anyways, thank you very much for watching my presentation.